This is the Hollywood Outsider, a weekly movie and TV podcast, where this week we are going to talk about some of the craziness coming out of the Comic-Con. That's right, the San Diego Comic-Con, the international whatever it is now. It's not really a comic book convention. It's more of a quote-unquote celebration of the popular arts. It's going to be our favorite news, looks, pilots that were screened there, like Gotham, The Flash, Wayward Pines, and a lot more. We're also going to discuss upcoming releases, including Into the Storm and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to have spoiler-free reviews of Lucy and Hercules. And my name is Aaron Peterson. With me today are my fellow hosts, Scotty Clark.
Hey.
Hey. Justin Mocumber.
Man, where have you been?
We'll get there in a second. And Brian Williams.
Well, hello.
Hello. I was at Comic-Con, and I am really tired. I am really tired. It really is as busy as it looks on TV. No, it was a lot of fun. It was very, very busy, very hectic.
You're so busy texting me. I just saw Matthew McConaughey.
You shut up. I did not see Matthew McConaughey. God, I'd love to let you guys know about how I got a fight with my wife over somebody I never saw. Oh, it's a long story. But I'm not going to tell it. I guess I have to now because
you kind of do.
Brought it up. Somebody had told my wife that, I saw... I don't know if they said they saw on Facebook or whatever, that you saw Matthew McConaughey, and she got all pissed at me because I never told her. Because I never saw him. I'm like, I'm having an actual fight over a movie star that I've never even seen. I have not seen him at all.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Now, I wanted to ask you, what's it like, on the floor? Because I hear a lot of people I follow on Twitter are always complaining about guys, gawking at all of the booth babes and the cosplayers and stuff like that. Is it as bad as they make it sound?
No, it's no different. If you've ever been to a trade show, you've been to Comic-Con. It's really no different. There,
just a few 100,000 more people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've ever worked at like a big convention, it's very similar. I've worked several in my lifetime, and it's this busy. I don't. Once you're out on the floor, yes, there are cosplayers, but I think you see a lot more of that in the on blogs and magazines and whatnot than you actually do there. I would say probably 2 out of 10 were actually dressed up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't see a whole lot of people standing around gawking, like holding up the line. There's a lot of people taking pictures by the booths. That would kind of hold the line up a little bit. Because WITA had a huge booth and they had like a Desolation of Smaug head, which was fantastic. Justin, Brian, you guys...
Smaug.
Whatever.
Smaug. He's not an atmospheric condition.
Hey, I saw his head. I can call it whatever I want.
Hey, he was in Southern California. It's easy to get the two confused.
Yeah, it's Smaug. It's Smaug. Desolation of Smaug. But anyway,
San Diego's beautiful, though.
It is beautiful, and the booths were really well done. And so whenever somebody would walk by, several of them, Outlander was a fantastic booth. I mean, it was like almost a castle built inside the exhibition hall. Smaug had his giant head, and then Fox had their little booth. Everybody had a cool booth. It's like everybody was trying to outdo the next one, and that was pretty fantastic. So overall, most of the people were pretty respectful. It's just so many people that you had to keep the line moving.
Did you get my shopping done early?
Yeah, I did. Yep, I'm sitting there with Justin's little shopping list, running through it, trying to see what I can get.
Yeah, because of that, you did just stop by and meet S.S. Wilson that we had on the show just a little while ago.
I did, and he is just as nice in person.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I saw that picture. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of actors with doing autographs, and apparently still trying to get a little extra money because they're charging for autographs and whatnot. I've never understood that, but a lot of people seem to like it. So, and they've got a whole system. Like when people say people camp out overnight to get into Hall H, that is no lie. They literally camp out. They will camp out on the sidewalk to get into line the next day to get tickets to get an autograph from George R.R. Martin.
Wow.
All that stuff that's pretty hardcore. I was not one of those people.
I get that all the time. It's good.
What's that?
It's all right.
People camping out trying to meet you?
But I can handle a weekend of it, but I tell you, a few years of that, it's starting to wear on me.
What do they bring to you to sign? Like a hustler or something? Or
it could be like a pair of underwear. It could be
with holes.
A Sears catalog.
Also with holes.
Catalog.
My man
a John Deere hat.
A John Deere hat. Wow.
It doesn't matter.
Wow. Well, before we get into the Comic-Con news, the big news and stuff, there's a couple other little pieces. One thing, which I guess is technically from Comic-Con, but I thought we've talked about it. Tarantino has officially confirmed The Hateful Eight is going to begin filming in 2015. So finally we have confirmation. He swears it. And also he says that Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, which is like that extended cut of Kill Bill, is going to be released in theaters within the next year.
Nice.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
No, that's going to have some stuff cut out, right? So it's not going to be just Volume 1 and Volume 2.
No, it's going to be the entire thing put together in correct order and with the extended animation sequence.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. A couple other things. Last week, Justin accidentally mentioned that 300 was written by Steve Moore or Alan Moore, some Moore. It was actually written by Frank Miller. It was an honest error on his part. He was just in a hurry. And now, what's this movie? We are not going to have a clip this week because we're doing the Comic-Con panel. We thought that'd be more fun to bring Comic-Con to you guys. But we are going to tell you who got the answer right. Last week's answer was the A-Team. So it was the A-Team. Some people said it was easy. Some people didn't. I just thought it was fun. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that movie. Here are the ones who guessed last week's. Craig Schermerhorn, he got last week's, the week before's right as well, and I didn't mention it, so I'm really sorry about that. Craig. Sandy Koki, she also guessed the week before, but got it in just after we recorded. Pablo Meza, O-Cause E-O-G. I hope I said that right, man. You had it all hyphened out. Joe Montemuro, who also asked if we would recast Hook.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can probably do that. And we'll see if we can have that done next week. John Davenport, KDM, Steve Peterson, who actually did not get last week's correct, even though I said it. So you're a loser.
So we're taking one away from you. You suck.
I'm taking that back.
Send that T-shirt back.
Even though I inaccurately gave it to you, we're still taking it back. That's just the way it goes here at the Ho.
You're a horrible person.
I know. Well, here's how we're going to do this. We've got a lot of show for you guys, so what we're going to do is just like Comic-Con itself, we're kind of going to break ourselves into panels. We're going to do this show a little different than a normal format so that each of us can talk about whatever it is that struck us as the most exciting news or trailer, whatever it was. In between, I'm also going to run through the pilots or footage that I saw at the con, and some of it might actually make it quite giddy. You can always find us on iTunes or Stitcher. Tweet us at H_outsider. Our Facebook is facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider. And, of course, the website, thehollywoodoutsiders.com, and our email is feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Scott, your panel is up first. What do we want to talk about this week?
Well, first off, I want to talk about the announcement of the Last of Us movie, which was...
Imagine that! Video game movies on the block.
Which, for those that aren't familiar, The Last of Us is a PlayStation video game made by a company called Naughty Dog that released last year. Takes place in a post-apocalyptic world that's overrun by a deadly virus. The main character, Joel, is tasked with transporting a young girl across the country. He doesn't really know why. And for those that haven't played it, this is for me anyway, this is one of the most emotionally gripping games I've played in a really long time.
I think Justin said that a couple weeks ago, too.
Did he?
So, yeah.
It's really solid, and this kind of just came out of nowhere for me. It's something that I always kind of hoped for but didn't really expect. And I'm really excited about it. Neil Druckmann, who is the producer and writer of the game, is also going to be producing the movie along with Sam Raimi, which is really cool. And what I thought was really interesting was on the panel, Druckmann and Raimi were going back and forth talking about it, and Raimi said that Druckmann actually wanted to change the story, the beginning and the end of the story, which I won't spoil here, but wanted to completely change how it started and how it ended. And Raimi talked him out of it. And so apparently they're keeping the story pretty much the same way, which I thought was really interesting, because usually it's the producer that wants to change up the story of the original property, and so I thought that was kind of refreshing. Also, the big news on that is that Maise Williams, who we know better as Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, has been in talks to play the character Ellie, who's the young girl that he's transporting across the country, and she actually has sat down and talked with him officially as of today. I read so. That looks like it's not official that it's going to happen, but she has been officially talking to them. So no other casting has been announced or even rumored at this point. I'm excited about this movie. I assume Justin is as well. What about you guys?
The game is incredible, and it is one of the most emotionally impactful games I've ever played. I mean, I can't remember the last time a game actually just made me kind of stop and stare at the screen going, oh my God.
Yep.
And just kind of leave you breathless
And
chilled and scared and sad and sometimes elated. It's a really powerful game. I hope they can get even some of that into the movie and really translate that relationship of Joel and Ellie.
I know you didn't have the game didn't impact you like it did Justin and I.
See, I was going to just let it go and let you go to the next one. I did not find it that interesting at all. I thought it was pretty redundant. I've seen this story before, so it just felt like another zombie post-apocalyptic movie.
They're not zombies.
Whatever.
They're monsters. They're not zombies.
They're pretty much zombies. That's how it didn't feel that different to me. Now I did
They're fungal creatures now.
My issue was more with the gameplay though. The story was good. I didn't think it was highly emotional. It was good, but I didn't like the game itself.
Well, now you can.
I thought it was kind
see
of
the
broken
story
in spots.
without the.
I would love to see the movie. Yeah, I would love to see the movie.
What about you, Brian? Do you have any interest?
I've got no idea about this game. I don't play PlayStation, so I didn't know anything about this game. I'm, just waiting for a trailer to check it out and see how it interests me. I mean, I love a zombie-ish monster.
There you go, zombie-ish.
Something in that area. I mean, I'll eat those movies up all day. Sorry, no pun intended. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, as far as drawing me into it because it's a popular game, not so much. But show me some good footage, and I will be there.
I also saw a trailer that was revealed at Comic-Con this week for the upcoming Mad Max Fury Road.
Fury Road.
Oh my goodness, guys! I am so excited for this movie. I can't even contain myself. I am, and before I even talk about what I saw in this, I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this.
You
but
can
I
find it all on the website. I did a whole
yes
post with the links for the trailers and stuff.
Yes, this trailer is available on the website. You can check it out there. The movie that I thought of the most when I saw this trailer was Waterworld. I know. Now I didn't see Mad Max until today.
You take that back.
No. I like Waterworld for the.
I do too.
And I know a lot of people hate it, and I don't understand why. I think it was
because we watched it.
Fuck them.
I liked it, and that's the feeling I got. I felt like when you saw there was a scene with bikers chasing them, whatever, coming out of nowhere. It reminded me of the smokers from Waterworld. I love the desolation, but this movie just looks bananas on an action scale.
BANANAS.
It does. It looks so.
Somebody had to.
I halfway through the trailer, I was like, okay, they're surely done showing action scenes or really cool action scenes, and it just kept getting better and better and better. By the end of the trailer, I felt exhausted. I am so amped for this movie. Officially, this is my most anticipated for 2015 as of right now, and that's including Avengers 2. I am beyond stoked for this.
I gotta agree with you, but I do want to say Waterworld ripped off Mad Max.
I understand that.
So technically, what you liked from Waterworld, you did like.
No, Mad
because
Waterworld was on water.
Whatever.
Hello.
I mean, just to give you an idea how much, I was so excited I actually went and rented Mad Max today and watched it for the first time. I'd never seen it.
I don't know if that one holds up. Road Warrior probably does, but man, I don't know.
I was going to say, to me, it looked more like redone highlights from the first two movies, Mad Max and Road Warrior.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is
Waterworld, but
the guy that's playing the villain in Fury Road is the same guy that played the villain in the original Mad Max.
Do you know it's directed by George Miller, who did the original films?
Right.
Which I think it's fantastic. I can't recall that ever happening, doing a reboot by the same director. So far down the road.
Theron looks effed up.
She does.
Who's that?
Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she is not the hottie we all know and remember, not with that hair and all that stuff. It looks intense and insane.
I'd still let it come over.
well, I don't know. It kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm okay with it.
I'm good with it.
I'm not too proud like Justin. Justin's like, my dignity doesn't go. I can't do it. You gotta have hair. I could slap something on. I'll grab a Raggedy Ann wig. I don't care. It does. It looks fantastic. Good call.
For my third story, I actually want to talk about one of the panels that I got a chance to watch, actually, which was for the Interstellar movie that's coming out.
Oh, that's that one with that son of a bitch McConaughey.
The one that got you in trouble?
The one that got me in trouble.
Well, what was interesting about this panel is they didn't even announce that these two people were going to be there, but which was a surprise to the crowd was Christopher Nolan and Matthew McConaughey both showed up. And this is interesting because neither of them have ever been to a Comic-Con before. And keep in mind, Christopher Nolan did all 3 Dark Knight movies and never went to a Comic-Con. And this is the
How
one.
the fuck did he avoid Comic-Con through all those movies?
He didn't want to do it. And when you're Christopher Nolan, you can just not want to do it. That's how it's
who
kind
did the people in the audience think they were going to see?
Put it this way. Someday when you become Stephen King, you can do that stuff too. And you're like, I don't want to go to Houston Con.
No, I want to go. I want people to lavish me with their love and attention.
Fair enough.
Well,
Why did you like it so much?
Well, number one, the fact that they both were there and first time appearance, and specifically that Nolan was there because he's never done it, even though with Batman. That to me says something about the film. Either he really wants to promo it, or he believes in this movie that much that he really wants us to check it out. And in the way that he talked about it, really made it. He was being so careful to say certain things to not give away anything spoilery, and he was just so candid about. He cracked a couple of jokes about movies that he potentially ripped off or whatever, and didn't want anybody to know that, to see that. So I thought that was really interesting. As for the movie itself, the new trailer, which is also up on our site, you can see. And I did watch, but I almost didn't want to watch it because
I didn't watch it.
No,
I want to be surprised.
Oh,
man,
there was a surprise. I'm not going to say what it was, but man, I wish I wouldn't have watched it now.
Really? Actually, I didn't regret watching it. I mean, I was sold on this from the teaser trailer.
There's a big story surprise in there. Watch it cautiously because there is one that you will figure out pretty quick if you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Scott
Samuel L. Jackson is an alien. Sorry, I'm just going to ruin it.
Man,
Snakes and space, bitches.
I've had it with these mother snakes on this motherfucking starship.
Snakes can't hear you scream in space.
Anyway, that one is coming out this year, so November 7th. I am so stoked. How about you guys?
yeah, and it's just enough to keep me ready. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to see it when I first heard about it, and I didn't see the panel or the trailer, but that does nothing to dampen my enthusiasm one bit.
All right.
Yeah, same here. The trailer I did get a chance to see. I didn't see the panel, but the trailer was enough of a build up from the previous teaser that I said, okay, you got my attention now. You know, it's enough to where, okay, I don't want to see anything more about it. You've piqued my interest. I said, okay, I'm on board now. Stop it. So,
And it's not that too much long. What, like 3 or 4 months? I mean, we're not.
Yeah, it's November, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it November? And I think Justin didn't watch all this stuff because normally he would keep an eye on it so that if he saw something he wanted to buy. But since he had me being his bitch the entire time,
That's right.
he's like, I have no reason to watch this. I've got somebody on the ground.
well, you volunteered. I'm just saying.
I don't think I volunteered. He asked me, and I got put on the spot.
That didn't McConaughey walk out going, all right, all right, all right?
He didn't actually. I was kind of
He would
disappointed.
have gotten the biggest
No, he
applause.
did.
I think Hall H probably would have fallen apart.
It might not have made the YouTube, but I know he did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because everybody was talking about it. So he must have done it like before they recorded for whatever you watched.
Yeah, I didn't see.
I didn't see his panel because I never saw him.
Sure.
So you say.
So I'm telling you guys.
All right. Well, the last story I had here was the footage or the trailer for Halo Nightfall. That's twice I get to talk about video games on this show. It's like a gift from heaven. It's awesome. Halo.
We see it different, don't we?
For again, those that aren't familiar with another video game that I'm going to talk about, Halo's arguably one of the biggest original properties from Microsoft Studios, if not the biggest. It's set in a sci-fi universe following a character named Master Chief.
Maybe we should have put Scott last.
He's a Spartan who fights an alien enemy known as the Covenant, and eventually a larger threat known as the Flood. The trailer for the live action series follows shortly after the news of Microsoft laying off about 18,000 people, including pretty much the entire department of Xbox Originals, which is basically the department that's making these TV shows. So a lot of us were kind of wondering if this is even going to still happen or take place, and this was good news that it actually is, so it survived. The unfortunate news is that the trailer to me didn't look like anything like Halo.
No, there's no fucking Spartans?
Yeah, there's no Spartans in it.
Where are my
Easy.
Spartans?
Easy.
The only thing that made it Halo was at the very end, a 5-second sample of the theme song that plays during the title screen in the game.
What defines it as a Spartan? Because isn't it like Master Chief a Spartan? Just
Yeah.
that
Master
suit,
Chief
right?
was a Spartan. The whole thing that I loved about playing Halo was this notion of a super soldier that goes out to battle this menace. And throughout the Halo games, that's who you played most of the time. If you read, there's a lot of books that have a lot of Spartans, but until they did Halo, come on, what was that little short mini
Reach?
thing they
Reach?
did? No, not Reach.
The animated
ODST? ODST?
Oh, God damn it! No, it was made for video. You can go rent it.
It was
I
the name.
cannot
It was the
remember
name
what
of the ship.
Red versus blue.
No, it was a movie about a training camp of these Navy personnel, these officers, and finally, near the end of it, Master Chief shows up, and for about 10 minutes of it, you get to see kind of Master Chief doing what he does, but it was a low budget affair, and so no, he's not doing all the huge things a Spartan can do. I was hoping that Halo Nightfall might have some of that, but I did not. All I saw were ODST troops. I didn't see anything resembling a Spartan. And to me, until I get a Halo movie or show or whatever that has Spartans, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, there's no Master Chief, no Cortana, no Warthog, no
I don't know.
nothing.
The suits look pretty Halo-ish to me.
Well, the ODST, the drop shock troopers, they've got armor, and it does look cool, but they're not
Whoa.
Spartans.
I feel like I'm back at Comic-Con again.
And just like Scott was just saying, it doesn't have a lot of things in it that are just part and parcel of what Halo is.
Right.
So other than the ring, it looks like they're on a broken ring. I don't know if it's the first one or some other broken Halo structure, but at least that's kind of there.
Right, and outside of that, the music at the end, you could have slapped any other name on it, and I would have believed that it was that and not a Halo thing.
Well, I got to see the actors.
Forward Unto Dawn. That's
Forward
what
Unto
it's
Dawn,
called.
Cool. I got to see their actors in their costumes, and it looked pretty cool to me. But
See, to me, the helmet is the defining thing of the Halo
is it
series.
that little gold, that
Yeah.
little Wayne shield?
But you got to remember too, Spartans are like 8 or 9 feet tall or something too. So like,
Yeah,
how are you
they
going
are-
to
they are
film
much
that?
bigger.
So anyway, those were my.
I'm excited still, but I
Sounds like it.
Chief. I want Halo 2 and Halo 3 in movies.
It did look very Ridley Scott though.
Yeah, it does. It looks. I thought it looked fine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't know. I didn't really. I'm not a huge Halo fan, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, you're not a real Halo fan, so
I know I'm not a real fan.
your opinion didn't count.
You're like a newer Halo fan, like the ODST. And
I'm like if Brian's playing, I'll play it Halo fan. That's basically what I am, because he makes it fun when I'm bored out of my mind. I saw a couple. Actually, I saw quite a few pilots, but we're going to split it up. The first two, Flash and Constantine. These are two. Well, Constantine, I know Justin in particular was really looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, of all the ones I watched, this is the one I was most skeptical about, just because of the Keanu Reeves movie. Mm-hmm. I liked it, but it's not something I ever really needed to see any more of. They cast a British actor this time, Matt Ryan, and he seems to embody what the original film was going for a lot more. He doesn't smoke, which is a big point of the character, but they've gotten that, because it's on NBC, so they can't have that. But he basically plays a demon slayer whose soul is damned to hell, and he's just fighting demons on a weekly basis. So he's going across the country. He's trying to save the world from all the demons. He thinks there's a chance he can save his soul. That's the entire plot of the show. It's a fun, breezy show. But honestly, it seems better suited to cable than NBC. I really have a hard time seeing this lasting on NBC, just because, I don't know. I mean, Grimm has made it, but it just doesn't seem like it suits that network. It seems more like a Fox show or a CW or a cable show. I mean, it seems very dark for NBC's lineup. But maybe they're trying to change how they do have Hannibal. What am I talking about?
they can't smoke.
No, not on TV, man. They stop it. Hey, it's bad.
Smoking is bad, Scott.
I agree
Killing
with you.
and slaughtering innocents, that's cool. Smoking while doing it?
In Scott's sort of defense here,
Whoa.
I mean, if you pick a subject matter where the main large part of the main character's the whole backstory is he's a heavy smoker, and it has, to the best of my knowledge, allegedly created his cancer. That's a major plot thing that you've got to work around.
It doesn't come up.
Well, Brian, NBC doesn't want to kill children.
Yeah.
I guess you do.
Yeah. See?
Oh, my God.
Hey.
You people.
Hey, it was a decent pilot. A little fun fact, David Goyer, who's the producer, he was at the Constantine panel, and he confirmed that Bear McCready, who did the music for Battlestar Galactica, is scoring the series.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so the music was very good. And it's actually a reworked pilot, so everybody's like, I already watched this online. No, you didn't. It's completely...
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't, because they changed the ending.
Well, because there a trailer for it, and man, it looked good.
It is. It's good. It didn't blow me away, though. But I also am not a huge Constantine fan. I'm sure that plays a part. The Flash, that one kind of surprised me. I actually watched The Flash twice because I had to watch it again to watch the Gotham pilot. And I was very surprised. Barry Allen is played by Grant Gustin. I've never seen him in anything except when he guest starred in Arrow last season. He falls victim to one of those big old Smallville accidents, where something goes boom and it affects everybody around him and they become supervillains, but he gets a superpower, makes him really, really fast. And as he learns about his power, he has this good nature about him, so he wants to help people. He gets a fancy costume. This pilot was much better. For me personally, just because it's an upbeat superhero. I've got so many dark ones going around right now. It was nice to get something that's more upbeat. It's a little bit more hopeful. The banter is a lot wittier to me. I actually didn't think Constantine was nearly as funny as it was trying to be, kind of thing. This one seemed very sweet. It reminded me a lot of Smallville. Like, it's not trying to be dark and brooding. It's a hopeful superhero that, because the Flash is he's not a dark character that I'm aware of. So I don't know, Justin, you read the comics or you have read.
Well, he's the Flash.
Yeah.
He's not the dark.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a very upbeat pilot. I really liked it. I watched it twice and it held up. So it isn't one of those where I watched it a second time just looking at my clock, waiting for it to end. It was good. Very good.
Doesn't the guy who played the Flash in the show that came on like 20 years ago?
John Wesley Shipp
Doesn't he play his dad?
He plays his dad, who is
cool.
convicted of murdering his mom, and he comes to...
that's not cool.
Well, you got to watch the pilot to see where that goes, because I don't want to spoil that.
I like that actor, though, was brought on to do this, because I don't know. I like it when geeky stuff from the past gets kind of brought forward.
Oh, and he didn't hold up well, man. He's not looking as good, but he does do a good job on the show, and it got around. I mean, people were applauding like crazy every time he came on. So
now, again, for someone like me that hasn't read the comics, the Flash is a member of the Justice League.
Eventually,
yes. So that could probably tie into all that at some point.
Nope. They are keeping this world, the TV world, is separate from the movie world. They confirmed that.
Okay.
So,
and he is faster than Superman.
Hey, I didn't know that. So there we go. We got that. But Superman has cool red eyes, so beat that guy with a funky helmet or mask or whatever that is. I got to tell you, the suit looks better when you see it on screen. But
because in pictures, it looks like dog shit.
From the neck down, looks good. That mask has got to go. I think just tell everybody who you are, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The mask, seriously, I love the rest of the outfit. It looks good. Yeah, it looks dumb. It looks like when Sheldon wears it.
Well, maybe they can get some red face paint and just paint it around his eyes. It seems to work for Arrow. Let's
go to Brian's panel.
Wow. Well, speaking of costumes and everything, we did get a little bit of a little bit of teasers, so to speak, from the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. At least, I don't know, maybe they can squeeze in a few more words for that title.
I'm sure
between
eventually.
now and God knows whenever it comes out. But anyway, do y'all feel a little bit more comfortable now? I mean, we've seen the pouting Batman, Batfleck, and now we've seen Gal Gadot. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name.
That's right. That's right.
Gadot. Mm-hmm. As Wonder Woman. Justin, what'd you think about this? I mean, because this is a pretty big reveal. I mean, I guess at least as early as it is in these, in the process here.
The only thing I really didn't get to see was the actual little teaser trailer that they put up for Batman versus Superman. Everywhere I went to look, you just try and Google that, and you're getting a million fan-made shits. Oh, crap. So I didn't get to see what the new teaser looks like. I've seen all the costumes.
Do you still get Rick Astley? Like, are there people still doing the Rick Astley thing?
I did not get Rick.
Never gonna give
point.
you, or whatever that.
But I think Gal Gadot looks great as Wonder Woman. I was really wondering how she was going to look in the costume, because she's a very slender lady or at least when I've seen her in the past, she's slender. And Wonder Woman really needs to be a bit more buff than that. She's not as buff as I would like, but I think the costume works. It's not heavily ornate or colorful. You know, Warner Brothers has really been going a much more gothic, pardon the puns, kind of route with the way they're doing these costumes. I mean, Superman's was a darker blue and a darker red. Batman definitely doesn't look flashy. And I like that the Wonder Woman has a more of a grounded world.
Flashy.
You see what? I didn't even mean to do that. I'm so smart. But this is the movie that I am on pins and needles to see, because I can't imagine how fucking awesome this is going to be.
I saw a really poor quality shot of the teaser trailer that you're talking about. I mean, it was like someone did it with their cell phone and barely had it holding still on the screen. Ew. But even from that, just the reaction of the crowd when that happened was like they didn't, I don't know, they knew it was happening, right?
I can tell you the floor rocked. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And here's so people know what it is. It's basically, it's real quick. It's not very long. I would say if it's 30 seconds, that may be generous.
That's what she said.
But really,
I'm sorry. I was poised, just ready for you to finish. That's it.
Like a panther ready to pounce.
Yeah.
It has Batman uncovering the bat signal, and then he looks up, and he's in full Dark Knight Returns gear. It's really cool. It's a really cool nod to that comic. And then the light shines up into the air right as Superman is flying over it. Superman looks down. He and Batman look pissed at each other, like they both are constipated. And then Superman has his beady red eyes, getting ready to laser bash him or whatever. It was really cool. I mean, it makes you go, oh, it looks so cool. It's one of those moments.
God, I've got to wait 2 years.
Well, now the rest of the movie could suck. That might just be the only cool moment. It'll probably be the one thing that's never in the movie, too.
I like how you say that like it's going to make him feel better. Hey, it might suck.
You never know.
The movie comes out next year, Brian. You don't have to wait 2 years.
No, it comes out 2016, man.
Yeah, see, I was going to say
May 2016. No, but you can line up in 2015 if you want. We'll let you know.
There'll probably be some people there waiting with you.
Yeah, oh man, there were. The floor shook. But Brian, you brought it up. What did you think?
I didn't see the video, and I'm assuming at some point, kind of like the Deadpool video, it'll be released, and we'll finally get a glimpse of it. Some of us, mere mortals, will get to check it out. So I'm anticipating that heavily, and it is frustrating in a way. I want it now. I want it now, and I've got to wait 2 years for it. So that's kind of hurt me a little bit. But like Justin is, I'm anticipating this probably more than just about any more Marvel movie that I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, even
and I'm a Marvel guy. But this is like holy grail type of shit right here.
Yeah.
Holy grail.
Yeah, I never dared to dream we would actually have a live action film with Batman and Superman in it.
I got a question though.
Don't you always?
I do. I'm a curious fellow. Why do they do this where they only show it to like the audience that actually?
Because it gets people talking about it more than if they actually saw it. It's kind of like that's how you build hype, man.
Yeah, and kudos to them, because it's hard to get that word of mouth to this extent anymore, because everything is so like
out there.
Tweeted and Facebooked, and it spreads faster than wildfire. And here, those people that got to go, it's for the short, at least for this time right now, it's a special moment that the rest of us can't relate to.
That's right. And I'll tell you what, the panel itself was frickin' genius. Zack Snyder brought out Henry Cavill. Is it Cavill or Cavill? Did we ever settle that?
No, it's Cavill, and
Okay.
we did settle that.
Henry Cavill. Ben Affleck. I know that's Affleck because I heard it a million times when people were like, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. And now
Did
they're
they
like,
really?
oh, when he was announced, yeah.
No. I mean, I thought you were
No,
saying
there.
Affleck.
But now all of a sudden they're all like, oh, I was always for Affleck. Right, hipster. Sure you were. And then Gal Gadot came out, and Zack Snyder didn't let them say a single word, which I thought was brilliant. Because it's all these nerds. They could have said anything and it would have erupted into applause or scream. They could have just went, nah, 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 and it would have been fine. But no.
How'd that go?
Nee, nee, nee. Frank the Beans. But no, they didn't say anything. He just sent him back. And I thought that was brilliant. Because that's all they wanted. And he's like, no, you guys were mean. No.
How was Affleck looking? Buff?
He looks like he could beat your ass. Yeah.
Well, that don't take much.
Wow.
I know you're going to the trainer, man. So I know you're getting some. You're getting some.
I actually
guns.
looked up I think it was last year's Comic-Con when they revealed the follow-up to Superman, and they actually had the logo with Batman and Superman. I rewatched that, I think last week, and just the roar of applause and excitement when that reveal was made. Just that alone just gave me like chills, and now we're getting closer and closer.
It was insane. They had tickets for that hall sold, or not sold, but they don't sell them. But people in line were the stadium was full by 1 a.m.
Jeez.
1 a.m. That's 6,500 seats, and it was full by 1 a.m. There were people that slept there that didn't get into that hall.
See,
How much would that suck? I slept on the dirty ground and still didn't get to see Batman not talk to me.
You see, that's where the whole built about we're going to give it to these people that are there makes you mad because you have to basically.
You got to earn that ticket. If you want to
Yeah.
go into Hall H on Saturday, you got to earn it. Yep. I always thought that was it's just a bunch of fanboys talking. They just don't want you to go. Nope, they mean it. That line was a half mile long.
Told you.
Half
just frustrates me.
mile.
Lost used to get those kinds of lines.
Yeah, well, I mean, they also had this on the same day as The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and Marvel. So that's the day everybody wanted to go. So, What else we got, Brian?
Well, I mean, kind of speaking of this whole Comic-Con thing, I mean, it's used to, way back in the day, like, I don't know, probably, I know this is probably so like 2010, but, it's, this is kind of like where they would announce something was coming out. And that this is, hey, we're making this movie, and we were always kind of wowed by that, but I didn't really get that sense this year. I mean, it was the quote unquote new movies we really just learned more about, maybe, like Ant-Man, we see a couple of the cast and that kind of stuff, but nothing really it didn't really feel like there was a whole lot new that was really thrown out there. Do you think we might be suffering from some comic book movie fatigue syndrome or something like that, Scott?
Well, I mean,
I know this was kind of a thing. I know you've kind of, I guess
He suffers from it.
yeah.
They haven't made a pill for it yet.
You kind of predicted this, I guess is what I was
Suffers.
trying to say. But
Well, and I'm the one that's kind of talked about that because I personally, again, not having read them like you guys have, get tired of just overload on it. But that said, I'm going to see Guardians tomorrow. I'm driving an hour and a half to go see it. I mean,
Yeah, we're fans and we don't even understand that. That's like, it's so far. It's playing down the street.
I think that the issue here isn't so much fatigue for those that are bigger fans. I think we just knew about a lot of it already. I think they weren't doing as much a good job of hanging on to some of this information before Comic-Con, I think.
Yeah, I think they just released most of it. I don't think there's fatigue at all, Brian. I mean, Marvel just locked in 5 more dates. Trust me, the movies are coming. Ant-Man, we didn't see anything because they keep firing everybody.
this is true. That's it's like a revolving door
I mean,
for the director.
yeah, Ant-Man's pretty much like Microsoft at this point. I mean, the turnover is ridiculous.
So is that poster not legit then? I thought that...
No, that's the real poster. I mean, those two guys are locked in. Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd apparently are the only ones that are required to be there. I'm not even convinced Marvel's producing it at this point. They might drop out tomorrow. You never know.
Hell, Paul Rudd might have to direct.
He might, like Michael Douglas is just, all right, I've been a producer most of my life. I can handle this. I'll I'll get behind the camera.
Maybe they'll trade Ant-Man with Fox. So, like, look, you give us Fantastic Four. You seem to be fucking that up a little bit. We're fucking this Ant-Man thing up. Let's see if we can work out a deal. We'll swap out and then kind of try something new.
We're gonna just start having a draft of superheroes every year.
Yeah.
Who takes the first pick this year?
You've got 5 years to create however many movies you can possibly do. After that, everybody goes back in the pool and we have another draft.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, we've recently seen, I guess with Warner Brothers stuff, is doing a kind of a return to the monster movies. It's with Dracula and Frankenstein and the rest of the crew. And Legendary Studios is now bringing back Godzilla for a sequel, and also Skull Island, which is the home of everybody's favorite giant ape, King Kong. Justin, I know you're a King Kong type of feller. What'd you think about?
I'm not quite sure what that means, man.
I think I'm big and hairy and
That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. Yeah.
He likes to climb buildings.
And wrong. No, I'm excited for it. I really enjoyed King Kong from Peter Jackson. I enjoyed the original. I wasn't so much for the, what was it, late 70s, early 80s
yeah.
version.
King Kong
really
Lives. That was bad. And there's
didn't do much for me, but to have it set on the island and hopefully not leaving the island, it makes me curious what other kinds of beasties they're going to be throwing at Kong. But I'm excited to see that. I love the return of some of these monsters to the big screen.
I can't wait to go because it never occurred to me to go to Skull Island or just to go back to Skull Island. I thought Skull Island was really just for King Kong.
But didn't they go to Skull Island in the last King Kong movie?
Yeah. Justin?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where Kong lives.
Yeah. But now they're going
right.
back. So it's going to be like Jurassic Park. Maybe there'll be newer monsters.
Well, see,
I was under the impression this was kind of a prequel.
That's exactly what I was going to say. As far as I know, it's being set up as a prequel. So this is while Kong is still there.
I don't want King Kong to be there.
Pre-Kong.
Yeah, there you go. Pre-Kong. I like that.
That sounds gross. I don't know why, but that sounds gross.
I know why it sounds gross.
I got some pre-Kong. What?
I think I'm more excited for the Godzilla sequel, honestly. I think the Skull Island idea is really cool. Shut up. You didn't like it. We got it. But I liked it. Didn't love it, but that last 40 minutes was fantastic. And now that they've got it all set up and crap, if they just make it a full-on action movie, I think Godzilla 2 could be great.
Let's hope they do that.
That would be fantastic. Both of those would be good.
The guy that wrote the script for Godzilla is actually writing the script for Skull Island, and even Joe Cornish has been offered for it. So, as far as the directing job, I don't think he's accepted it yet, but he has been offered.
That's
so
cool.
Take that for whatever it's worth.
Godzilla 2 is going to have Mothra. They announced Mothra. They're bringing it back. So, I want to see it.
And are they bringing back? It's like a trio of famous
it's like
Godzilla.
Mothra, Rohan, and something else. I don't know that. I don't speak Japanese.
Rohan, wasn't that Ben Stiller as a hairdresser or something?
No, it was Zohan.
That was Zohan.
And it was Adam Sandler.
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's going to fight Godzilla
You freaking idiot.
with his hairdryer.
That would be a movie I want to see. Make it happen.
No, you don't.
I do. Adam Sandler fight.
Adam Sandler.
If it's going to be a stupid Adam Sandler movie, it might as well be really stupid.
Can you see him fighting Godzilla with a hairdryer? I can.
No.
Oh, well, see, you have no vision, Scott. No vision. This is why you don't work in Hollywood. This is how movies get made. Right
That's
here.
right. Mm-hmm. Aaron's throwing out gold here.
This is gold.
Well, hey, Aaron, I don't know if you got a chance to get by the Oculus Rift
Yes.
thing. Did you get a chance to jump into a Jaeger?
No. I'll be honest. It's cool, but it just feels like a fad to me. I don't enjoy it. I didn't find it fun. I don't like it. I'm also a little claustrophobic.
It's new technology.
No, I
like it.
I love new technology. I get it as soon as it comes out. I love new tech. I don't like not don't like not being aware of my surroundings, and I just don't like that. It's a personal
You've
thing.
been picked on too much as a kid, haven't you?
Exactly. I got kicked. I got thrown in the
Every time I
closet.
put these Oculus glasses on, my pants come down. Why is that?
That's a whole other issue.
No, I'm actually interested to hear about this because it's interesting that you say you're claustrophobic. Because my understanding was that the screens are so large that you don't even see the edges or anything like that, but you still got a sense of claustrophobia.
I know. So it has nothing. I know that I'm trapped in this thing, and I don't enjoy it.
So you don't have you can't like
It
detach
is.
yourself.
I'm telling you right now, it is very cool, but I can't. My brain knows. My brain feels trapped. So I don't like being confined, and I feel confined in it, and I don't enjoy it.
Okay. So did you watch a movie, or did you play a game, or what did you do?
It was a game. I don't remember what it was,
Okay.
but I did. I was literally in it for like 30 seconds, and I just didn't. I didn't want it. I'm not gonna. I think it's really cool. It's really cool. God, you're like 12.
Your brain is trapped in an idiot's body.
It's a very
But
cool
it
concept.
works every time.
No, it really doesn't. It's a very cool concept. I want it to succeed because I want holograms someday, and this is one step closer to holograms. It's just something that I personally don't enjoy, but I absolutely understand why other people will enjoy it. I just don't think people will want to watch movies that way.
Well, let me ask you this. I know that, I mean, obviously the Oculus Rift is a very personal thing. I mean, you wear it on your face, and you don't want to go to a
It covers
theater
your
and
face.
sit there with a bunch of other 200 other people with these big screens strapped to your face.
Well, they did wipe it off, so that was cool. Because there's no way that
people
would.
They
Fine,
say
take
they
your
say they wipe
pockets.
off the chairs that we sit in too, but I know better.
Oh, I watched. Trust me, I'm a hypochondriac. They're wiping it down before it goes on my face.
But do you think this might be kind of a springboard for maybe the next big evolution in cinema or movies? I mean, this maybe not this specifically, but maybe this leads to something else that gets invented that maybe might even lead to something else to get invented that says all of a sudden we're staring at this 80-foot screen that feels like we are really in Jurassic Park.
From seeing it, I will. And for people that don't understand what it is, because you didn't really explain, Oculus Rift is basically a video game device at this point that you wear. It's kind of like goggles, and you put them over your head, really big goggles, and you see the world. You're like immersed in the world. All you see is that world. So it's a new kind of game technology that they're trying to take to the next level. It looks really cool, and they're talking about making it a part of movies. I don't know how you do that since movies aren't filmed 360 degrees. So I don't know how that would work.
I think that's what he's asking. Is that the next big thing?
I don't think so. I don't know many people, and we've talked about it on the show before, so I don't want to, beat it with a hammer. But I just don't know how many people would want to watch movies like that on a regular basis. Maybe once in a while, but it's just not something that I would find interesting. Taking that experience out of it, they found a way to make it seem less confined. I still wouldn't be interested. I know Scott would, because I mean, there might be a controller involved at some point.
No.
That would be awesome.
Justin, did you? Because you originally said you really wouldn't want to watch movies this way either. Did you change your mind?
I watched that Video Games the Movie documentary that Scott was talking about a few weeks ago, and they have a segment on the Oculus Rift. And after watching some of the footage for that and people's reactions to it, as well as this kind of stand-up circular booth thing that you kind of walk in, the bottom is curved so that when you step, your feet just kind of slide across the floor. It looked really interesting. It's so much better than those kinds of VR rigs you used to see, 10, 15 years ago, like in malls and shit. It looks beautiful, and depending on the movie, I would definitely be interested in watching a movie using the Rift. I mean, whether it's Pacific Rim, the Lord of the Rings movies, anything big, I want to see in that, because I want to experience that level of immersion that seems to make you uncomfortable.
No, it's totally because the goggles are on my face. I don't like it.
Well, but
I don't think it would bother me, because I know from a lot of people who wear glasses, they'll quite often say that if their glasses have a thick frame, they don't like them because they feel like that the weight of it and they can see that frame in their eye, that they feel kind of confined and squeezed in. That has never bothered me. I've worn all sorts of glasses and never really had an issue with them. So I don't think I would have a big issue wearing one of these for 2.5 hours.
I just love the concept of like what you just mentioned, like films aren't done in 360 degrees, whatever. Mm-hmm. That got me thinking. Like, I know it's, again, like Brian said, way in the future, but think of like the first Matrix movie, how some of those shots were done where they had like all those cameras going up at an angle around in a circle around the actors to make that, to do that. Imagine being able to watch a movie and be able to get whatever angle of the scene that you wanted to. You know how I always complain about...
I'm sure with green screen and special effects nowadays, they could accomplish it, but they'll only do it if the money's there, and I just don't see it as something people would want to do regularly.
Well, right now, yeah, I agree with you, but you know how I always complain about movies that have the shaky cam, and it drives me crazy, and I just automatically deduct points off the score for that? Imagine just be able to watch an action sequence in any way that you want to. You want to get down in the middle of it and do the shaky cam thing. You want to kind of get a little bit further away. You want to do an aerial head view of it. And
I think that sounds very cool once in a while.
Yeah.
It's still not something I would want to do every day, and that's really where their money's going. Or once a week even. It would be like a special occasion, something for me personally. And I don't think many people would be into that. But you never know. This world's becoming less and less involved with other people, so the more secluded they are, maybe the better. I don't know.
Way to go, Buzzkill. Why don't you move on to something else?
I'm sorry, why don't you talk about some glasses again, or whatever the hell that was? How about that?
I thought it was interesting.
You think anything with a gaming device is interesting?
I'm not even looking at it from a gaming perspective, man. I'm talking about...
Yeah, and it's not just about, again, it's not about the glasses. It's down the road. It's just, this is the maybe the point in the right direction to finally change something in cinema, because we've talked about this before. The basic experience of movies has not changed in 30, 40, 50 years. So sooner or later, they're going to have to evolve in a certain direction if they want to keep people leaving their houses to make a special trip to go to the big screen, instead of just some casual nostalgia type thing like, oh, you remember when we used to go to the movies?
Instead of recliners?
Yeah.
They're going to have more than just recliners.
That's a good start.
Yeah. Hey, it helps. Then you can get comfortable and then slap your thing on your head. Think about that.
Fine. Why don't we just get giant couches and just line up, and then everybody can just like all pile on there together?
No. That sounds
like
very
a couch bunk bed?
Wait, why is it?
Well, no, that wouldn't be a bunk bed, you freak.
That's literally the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Somebody's been watching too much Lego.
Yeah, that's the Lego movie. The Gotham pilot. I saw the Gotham pilot. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's really hard to describe because I think, what are you guys expecting from this, first of all? I'm kind of curious because I really didn't have many expectations. I've avoided most trailers. What do you guys think the show's going to be? I kind of want to know if it's what people expect.
From what I've heard, it sounds like a story centered on Commissioner Gordon and kind of cases leading up to him becoming commissioner before Batman existed and everything. That's my impression.
Justin?
Yeah, a bit of a police procedural, but with a heavy noir element and a bit of geekery around the edges.
Okay. Well, that's fairly close. It is about Jim Gordon, and it's about a young Jim Gordon. He's trying to rise through the ranks in Gotham City. Full of corruption. His partner's on the take. Falcone is the mobster in charge at the current time. It's him trying to manipulate both sides of the law because he realizes he has to in order to remove corruption from his city. That's really what it's about. There are mentions and eventual stories of the super villains that'll come into play later, like Catwoman, which I don't quite understand because Bruce Wayne is like 10, and Catwoman looks like she's about 19 or 20, but I guess it's not too big an age difference.
Did you see Star Wars Episode 1? Come on.
Yeah. Still awkward. It's a dark, moody pilot. It's very reminiscent of the Dark Knight trilogy in terms of it's more of a realistic approach as opposed to a very comic booky looking approach. There's no bright lights. There's no supervillains or superpowers yet. The Penguin is mentioned or introduced, and it seems like they're just starting his origin story, so to speak. They've got another character called Fish Mooney. Worst character name ever, by the way. But it's actually a very interesting character played by Jada Pinkett Smith. She's another mobster who's basically trying to go against Falcone. I actually really liked her work in the pilot. It's a very dark, gritty noir pilot. And
so the villain, or I guess the mob guy in this movie is Falcone,
he's one of them. Him and Fish Mooney.
because Falcone is also the main mob guy in the first Christopher Nolan Batman movie.
Yep, yep, he is, and he looks about the same age, which is, once again, obviously continuity is not something they're too worried about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's definitely a much more of a serialized drama than a comic book show like Arrow or Smallville was. So it's very interesting. I don't find it procedural, so to speak, as of yet, because they're not really. He hasn't investigated cases right now. It's just set up for the future. I'm not quite sure what direction they're going to. It can easily become a procedural where he's just dealing with a villain every week or a super villain every week. I don't know. Right now, it just seems like an average cop drama in Gotham City.
Do you get the impression?
But it was really good. It was really... Ben McKenzie was a great casting choice. I really didn't see it because he was in Southland. He's a very intense guy, and I'm like, well, that's not Gary Oldman. But this is obviously Commissioner Gordon before he became Gary Oldman.
Like hardened.
Yeah. And Ben McKenzie reminds me of like a young Russell Crowe. He's that good. So I really like his take on the character, and the show was really good. I was very impressed with it because I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't too enthralled with seeing. I mean, I wanted to see it just so I could see it, but I didn't really care how it turned out. Now I want to watch the show. So.
Did you get any impression from the pilot that you're going to see supervillains or superpowers or?
Oh yeah,
villain
I mean,
powers?
you have Poison Ivy pops up as a character, so obviously they're setting up the future for several villains. I mean, you've got was it Cobblepot, the Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've got Poison Ivy popped up, and you've got Catwoman popped up.
The Riddler, isn't there, right?
The Riddler I don't remember seeing in the pilot. So, but he might come up. Fish Mooney is an all-new character, I know that. And that I actually like that character. I just hate that name. It's just a really dumb name.
Is that from the comics, or is that brand new?
It's all an original character.
Huh.
Justin, what's your panel?
Well, first off, talk a little bit about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It looks like Lucy Lawless has been signed to star as a longtime S.H.I.E.L.D. veteran, but that's really the long and short of what we know about her. She's tough and she's good with weapons, but really that's all we know. But I like that they're casting known actors to come in and do this like they did last season with Bill Paxton when they brought him on for a good long run on the show. I thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started weak, but it did get progressively better and better as things went on. And then after Winter Soldier came out and the show picked up immediately from that, which I thought was a master stroke of timing for them to be able to do all that and carry the movie right into the show was great. But I like Lucy Lawless. I liked it when she came on to The X-Files way back in the day. She's one of those actresses that I think will always be tied to that first big role. But I'm curious to see what she'll do with the show. For those of you who maybe left the show and weren't interested,
Guilty.
do you feel like you're going to be coming back next season? And does she have really any impact on your viewing whatsoever?
Brian, you can take this one.
No.
Yeah, I'm with Brian.
I've watched. I think I still have the last probably 4 or 5 episodes on my DVR, which if I'm to be honest, probably will never watch. It was right about the time the crossover thing, the Hell Hydra started kicking in, and even though I'd heard some hoopla after that hit, it's just not enough to keep me. This is one of the worst wastes of an hour that I've got saved on my DVR. And as much as I like Lucy Lawless, I like her. I like watching her, and I just don't see this bringing me back to this show.
I've got it all on my DVR as well, and it's one of those things where I keep trying to make myself watch it, and because I watched the first 6 or 7 episodes, whatever it was, and I just thought it was a bad show. And I've heard, and Justin, I believe me, I've heard from just about everybody that really picked up and got better in the last half. So I'm not debating that in any way, shape, or form. It's just one of those things where I just can't seem to make myself want to watch it. I think it's one of those where they just burned it out of me, and now I just don't have any interest. I'd like to, because I want it to be what I wanted it to be, but it just doesn't feel like I'm going to get interested anytime soon. She's not enough for me, no.
I just, it's one of those, I want to like it so bad, and I just can't. It's like green beans. I want to like green beans,
Green
and
beans are delicious.
I gag every time I eat them.
What about you, Scott?
I like Louis Lawless.
Lucy
Lucy
Louis
Lawless.
C.K. is awesome.
How old is she now? Is she over 50?
She's got to be close to 50.
50? I mean, I
45,
didn't.
maybe.
I watched one episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so this is not enough to bring me back. I was bored after one episode. Again, I didn't give it a fair shake. I should have, watched a few more episodes probably, but I don't know. It just didn't do a whole lot for me.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I heard almost next to nothing about Avengers 2 from Comic-Con. I know that they showed some stuff. I know the actors all flew out from London to be there, but I don't know. You have to tell me, Aaron, what did I miss? What's going to get me excited? What all did you see that they had there for Avengers 2? Because that's coming up next year, and I see some things on magazine covers, like Entertainment Weekly showed what the Ultron's going to look like, and then they showed this big, I guess it was a painting that had all of the Avengers in it, as well as Ultron and his robot minions. What did you see there?
They showed a clip where it was a lot of witty banter, which was very funny. And I'm not going to try and replicate the jokes because obviously I'm not as funny as Robert Downey Jr.
Obviously.
But it culminated in a series of horrible destruction video, and it showed a broken Captain America shield. Now, what that means, I don't know, but it was very significant, and it made everybody gasp. So take that for what you will. And unfortunately, it's the same thing where they buried it, and you're never going to see it or whatever. But it was, if you can find it on YouTube, if you can find it before somebody takes it down the next time, it was pretty cool. But that's one where I can't really duplicate it.
It seems like one that they don't have to.
No,
have
it's
a
a
big
fun.
presence
It was a
there.
fun panel though. I'm sure you can find that on YouTube. And James Brolin wearing the Infinity Gauntlet.
I saw that picture. I was like, oh shit, he's wearing it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And James Spader there, his voice is just fantastic. And the only thing I was a little bummed with Marvel's entire panel was they didn't really do anything else. They had some Ant-Man stuff, and they mentioned the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, but that was really it. And that's the one everybody was pumped for. I think they were expecting Doctor Strange because...
Well, I think, unfortunately, this Comic-Con came in right at the low point in everything that they're doing. It's too early for Doctor Strange. It's way too early for the next Captain America or Iron Man movie, so they've got nothing there, but the only really upcoming movie they've got left is the Avengers, because Guardians of the Galaxy will be out this weekend. And I think, unfortunately for Marvel, it just comes at that midway point between gluts of films, and they just didn't really have anything to show this year.
Well, there's been a lot of talk here the last probably month or so about Doctor Strange and possible casting, get people, but
Isn't it like Joaquin Phoenix? Isn't it? That's where it's
he's the
landing at
latest
now?
one, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm praying that
That's
is
fucking
not
crazy.
the case.
That's just crazy.
They talked to
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch at his panel about it too, and he denied it. And said
I think they
rumor.
rumor him for everything at this point. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Like they're doing the Smurfs 3. Like Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be voicing Papa Smurf.
Yeah, he was like, I think Annie. He was
For
in talks.
Orphan Annie.
Well, but
he was in
this
talks to
time-
play Annie.
This time, though, it's him talking about
Right.
stuff he would like to do, as opposed to all of us pretty much hiring him to be a part of every film will ever be made. Once again, I mean, he was actually talking about, because they'd asked him, is there anything coming up that you'd be interested in doing? And he was kind of cryptic about it, but it did seem like Doctor Strange was something that he was kind of interested in.
I think he's much better than Joaquin Phoenix. I tell you, and it's nothing against Joaquin. I just think he's wacky.
I think they need to get somebody that it has a feel of otherness, but also of brokenness. because Doctor Strange needs to have a very specific feel to that character that none of the other Marvel characters have, because he's all about the supernatural and metaphysical. So I'm hoping they kind of surprise cast. I don't want.
But he was also as a surgeon, as a medical doctor,
right.
He was also a very arrogant and conceited type of guy. So they've got to have somebody who can do that aspect also.
But if Cumberbatch does take it, he's got to have the mustache.
Oh, yeah.
What else we got, Justin?
Well, Peter Jackson came out for The Hobbit 3. He said that they're adding 25 minutes for the Desolation of Smaug extended edition, which I just rewatched the theatrical cut but a couple of weeks ago, and 25 minutes. I'm always anticipating these extended editions because I'm curious what they're going to add in, how they're going to tweak some stuff. And I've yet to be disappointed by an extended edition. People may say I'm a glutton for punishment. So be it. But he's also said that he's saying goodbye to the series. And to that I say, no shit. There's nothing left. You've done it all.
Well, I mean, couldn't you do that Silmarillion? Couldn't you do that?
Even some of the elements of the Silmarillion are in The Hobbit. So it's not as though he hasn't even dipped into that book. Now, I'm sure there are some other aspects of Middle-earth and Silmarillion stories that he could do, but fuck, man, at this point, 6 films, I think it's okay to say, I'm done.
6 films, 47 hours? Yeah.
Right. I have mined, pardon the pun, this franchise to death.
And what did you think of the trailer?
I thought the trailer looked fantastic. I thought it looked really good. I thought Smaug looked fantastic. I really liked the war-torn imagery for the town and everything else. I will say though that Thorin, man, he's coming across in a few scenes as just a straight-up villain.
Well, I can't say anything because I read I don't want to ruin the book. He has his moments. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
I mean, he's almost as needing of the Arkenstone as Gollum was for his precious. It's almost that level of obsession. And even when I was rewatching the second film, I had kind of forgotten just how diabolical Thorin is in his actions about having Bilbo go in and find that stone, and how much he needs it and wants it. What did you think of the trailer, guys?
I loved it. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Well, I did enjoy it. I will say this, and I mean this in a positive way, not in a negative way like it's going to sound. Those trailers
way to start that sentence.
The trailers look very much similar to the rest of the movies. Does that make sense? Like the tone, like Gandalf looks exactly the same in like all 6 movies, and I think that is such a talent to be. How long has it been since the first one? I mean, at least it's gonna be like a decade by now, right?
Yeah, the first one was like 2000 or 9, something like that.
So over a decade, and everybody looks the same. The sets look the same. The quality just seems to carry over between all 6 of those up until even with this one, and that's so impressive to me.
I mean, the trailer just it does what it does, and that's just it just validates that, hey, I'm anticipating this movie, and I see the trailer. It just says, okay, here I am. Yeah, this is definitely what I'm waiting for. So it just lives up to the rest of the movies, and it's just one of those things like it. I don't expect, I guess, a certain thing, but when you see it, it just tells you that you're like, yes, this is what I'm waiting for. This is what I love about these movies, and it's on par with the other 5. So yeah, definitely.
Brian sounded all over the place on that one. He's just like, I just want to see it. I just want to see it. That's all I heard.
But I do understand what you're saying, Scott, about the trailer, because at this point, Peter Jackson has filmed a fight or a battle or large combat across seemingly every terrain possible. It's almost like, what more can he do at this point that hasn't already been done in the previous movies? I am curious, though, and I've not heard anybody mention it yet, if he might do a little Lucas retconning with taking out that scene in the Return of the King, where they kind of go back in time to see, or not in the Return of the King, it's actually in the first one, where Bilbo remembers him finding the ring, and you could tell that it's obviously the same actor, just made to look younger. I'm curious if they won't cut that out and cut in the Bilbo from this movie finding the ring. I mean, it would be almost a seamless kind of work, but to me, I would like if they did that, but it is only a couple of seconds. It's not like a huge
I'm
thing.
sure it will be done for the mega set.
But I think that would be less distracting than
That comes in a life-size dragon.
Yeah, exactly. $450.
Which I would buy.
Yeah, you got to mortgage your house to pay for it.
I put my front lawn like a boss.
I think in that film it would make more sense and be less distracting than like what they did with Return of the Jedi, where they stuck in Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
You know, that just stuck out like a sore thumb.
So bad. It's still bad. I just don't like it.
Here, I think this benefits from, like I said, those movies all look very similar and have the same tone. You look at the original trilogy versus the...
Well, it's the same director, of course, yeah.
Well, same director, same cinematographer, same musician scoring it. I mean, almost everybody is the same from not cast, but the crew. So yeah, it is. I think 6 movies is as far as you could take this before you're basically just taking parts of different movies and just reassembling them.
Mm-hmm.
What about horns?
Oh man, the trailers, the posters for this movie are just looking fantastic. For those who don't know, Joe Hill, who's the son of Stephen King, and in recent pictures is really starting to look like his old man. And
at the panel, he looks just like Stephen King.
And I'm not saying that's a good thing.
No.
But he wrote a book called Heart-Shaped Box, which kind of started his career, and then he wrote a book called Horns. I would much rather see Heart-Shaped Box as a film, but be that as it may, Horns stars Daniel Radcliffe, and it's about a young man who is kind of tortured by his past, and one day he wakes up and he's got these little horns, and they give him an ability over people, and lots of craziness ensues from it. It's a little bit horror, it's a lot of drama, a little bit of comedy, but the trailer looks fantastic. Have any of you seen the latest trailer for it?
I did, yes.
What did you think of it?
I am fully convinced. Like, I've had this thing with Daniel Radcliffe that I can't separate him from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
This trailer, I finally did. Like, I looked at him and I didn't see him as Harry Potter growing up. I just saw him as an actor. He just looks like a completely different guy to me. Finally, I'm so excited. The movie looks so strange and weird, but in a good way. Like, if you would have told me this movie is about a kid that grows horns, I'd have been like, what? It just seems like the strangest concept. I just wanted to be there when they gave him the script originally and said, all right, here you go. Mm-hmm. It just seemed it would have been the hardest pitch to ever do, but they made it work, and it looks funny. It looks interesting. I can't wait to see it. I'm stoked for it.
And they played a clip that I think it's one of those they didn't release it or whatever, but they played a clip where he drops the F-bomb, and seriously, 6,500 people went, yep.
Harry Potter!
I can't believe Harry Potter dropped it. I mean, it was so funny. I was almost in tears. And he started laughing too. Like, it was over. He's like, really? But, Harry Potter's 4. Oh my God.
No, Daniel Radcliffe swore. That's why.
No, but I respect that. He seems like just the nicest kid. Like, you see all these child actors that are either arrogant or full of themselves or whatever. He just seems like a regular guy. How that happened with his life the way it was boggles my mind. Joe Hill's a mic hog, by the way. I mean, he kept trying to steal the mic every time poor Daniel Radcliffe was talking. He's just like, this is my movie. Let me talk for 10 minutes, please.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Daniel Radcliffe over the years has had ample mic time. It's time for the writer to get a little attention.
Well, let me tell you, we all cared more about Daniel Radcliffe. No offense.
His American accent's not bad.
It's pretty good. And he drops an F-bomb very well. I'm very proud of him.
What about you, BB?
Yeah, I'm excited about this movie. It's just one of those I couldn't quite grasp on what to expect from it, which is really a compliment because so many trailers you just figure out the whole movie, from the minute and a half, 2 minute trailer. But I'm really anticipating this, and I don't have actually really after watching this trailer, I don't see him as Harry Potter anymore. Well, I don't want not totally, I should say, not as much as I probably did during that horror movie he did. That was not very good.
The Woman in Black.
Yeah, Woman in Black. There you go.
Yeah. So
He's like, I'm a dad. No, you're not. You're Harry Potter.
right.
He still wore the
And
glasses.
It looks like you're in Harry Potterville anyway. So, so it's definitely going to be one of those movies that's going to be out there, and I bet you I'm anticipating it's going to be very good, and it's going to be one of those to where you can't explain it to your average person.
Yeah.
Yep. And
A
nobody
movie
sees
buff,
it.
you can explain to them. Trust me, it's too weird to explain, but go see this movie, and they'll eat that up and they'll go see it. But Joe Schmo, who's your casual moviegoer, probably won't go see this movie.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with that.
And the scene with the reporters is my favorite scene in a trailer.
That's the one they showed the scene in full when it was there. It was actually.
But then he
really
tell them to
funny.
go fuck each other.
Yeah, that's the F-bomb. That's where the
right.
whole audience went.
Harry Potter would never say that.
And they do kick the shit out of each other. I mean, he beats her ass.
Without
it's like Ray Rice all
hesitation.
right there, man. He just beats her ass.
Ray Rice.
Sorry. Too
Well,
soon?
in further Joe Hill news, a property that we talked about a couple of years ago, Lock and Key, is a comic book series that Joe Hill wrote that was originally picked up by Fox to be a TV show, and they actually filmed the pilot for it, but ultimately Fox decided to pass on the show, and it kind of went away. Well, luckily for guys like me who read Lock and Key and loved the shit out of it, Universal is going to be developing a trilogy of films that follow all of the comic books. And to keep it brief, Lock and Key tells the story of these three kids who move into their family home in Maine after their father dies, and they stumble across these magical keys that give the people who use them some powers and abilities depending on which key they have and opening doors with them. All of this much to the dismay of this demon that's inhabiting the house. It's a fantastic series. I just got the last hardback collection, so I'm going to be diving into it. The fact that they're going to be doing films of it now, I think are much better than a TV show, though I think a TV show in the right hands would have also been amazing as well. But Joe Hill, for right now, for him, everything's coming up roses.
Yeah, look forward to
Now,
that.
have any of you seen Lock and Key, read it at all?
Nope.
If not, I highly recommend you do.
We'll definitely
I
check
have
into it.
no idea about it at all.
But I will check into it. I've heard a lot of good things.
I think you can even get it like on the Kindle.
Is that what we're calling
No.
it now? The Kindle?
The Kindle.
Like my grandpa? I need to read some books on the Kindle.
Do I need to log into the emails to get that?
Are you on that thing, the Facebook?
I also two more pilots. These I'll be a lot quicker about. Wayward Pines, M. Night Shyamalan. However, he's in television now because apparently he did so well with movies, and After Earth did so well. He's now on television, and he's doing a show that's kind of in the vein of Twin Peaks. Outstanding cast. Has Matt Dillon, Melissa Leo, Toby Jones, Carlo Gugino. All these actors are in it. Matt Dillon plays a Secret Service agent, Ethan Burke, who is basically searching for two missing agents, ends up in this town called Wayward Pines, Idaho. Of course, it's not an ordinary town. They have all kinds of weird, quirky things, very Twin Peaks-ish going on, and it's basically him trying to find out what's going on.
Did you say Carla Gugino?
Yeah.
It's
She's so pretty.
Yeah. And I saw her in person. What?
Oh,
She looks so good.
I bet.
She does, and she didn't talk to me at all. The,
Good for her.
yeah.
can't blame her.
The pilot was good. I did think it was trying a little too hard to be quirky, but it was good, and I would like to see where it goes. They did say at the panel that you will find out fairly early exactly what's going on, so it won't be one of those things where you have to wait it out until the end of the 10 episode run. It seems like it's a limited series, but I'm sure if it does very well, they'll bring it back. But right now, it's 10 episodes. It was good. I would give it maybe like a 6 out of 10 kind of thing. It's one of those where I wasn't too pumped on it when I walked out, but I liked it. iZombie, on the other hand, that's the new Rob Thomas show, Mr. Veronica Mars, which you would think me walking in, I would be like, that is going to be the bomb. Because I've been excited about it. I like Rob Thomas. It's about a girl who dies, comes back as a zombie, basically is trying to stay alive by eating. She gets a job. She's a med student. She gets a job at the coroner, and she ends up eating brains to keep her humanity. Because if she keeps eating brains, she won't turn into the monster zombie. Yeah, I can't even make it sound cool. It's freaking stupid. And as much as I wanted this to be good, it's not. It's not bad. It's just not good. It's whatever's in the middle. It's like Scott's going to tell you about Lucy later. It's like Lucy. It's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't really know what it wants to be. And the whole concept, while it seems good on paper of a zombie trying to find a way to stay alive, it just doesn't work.
Well, they did that with that movie. It seems like they're trying to. What's that movie where the zombie comes back, like he's coming back into a human?
Warm Bodies?
Warm Bodies, yeah. Like that concept's kind of been done already.
Yeah, and they give you the aura that there might be a cure for what she has. Mm-hmm. It's just, oh man, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. It's trying too hard to be Veronica Mars and Walking Dead at the same time. And it just doesn't work. I swear to God. Because it's got, like, when she eats the brains, she gets that person's memories and then she goes and solves their murders.
Oh.
Yawn.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's trying too hard. I wish them the best. I really like the actress, Rose McIver is who's playing the lead, and she was very good. She seems like she's giving it her all. It's just it's a dumb premise, man. If this lasts 4 episodes, I'll be shocked. But it's on the CW, so it might last 4 seasons. I don't know. Now it's my panel, the stuff that whatever's left, basically the scraps. I went to the 24 panel, got to see Kiefer Sutherland.
Of course you did.
Hey,
you remember me from the call?
Yeah. That's what I did.
Now.
I shouted at him. I'm like, "What's up, Kiefer?" And he ignored me. There was no Freddie Prinze action going on at that time, thankfully. Which, if you didn't know, Freddie Prinze Jr. came out and started bitching about Kiefer Sutherland. Something that said that he was an awful person to work with or whatever. First time I've ever heard that.
Like Kiefer Sutherland was awful to work with?
When he worked with him 5 years ago. Yeah. And
Okay.
It really sounds like Mr. Scooby-Doo is just trying to get a little relevance. Mm-hmm. But whatever. Plenty of other actors have came out and said Kiefer's great to work with. Yeah, he drinks too much, but he's professional on set. I don't care how much you drink at night. As long as you show up and you do your job.
Get back to the mystery mobile, bitch.
Exactly. It was a really good panel. And they didn't announce anything, and some people thought they were going to announce another series or something. John Cassars, the executive producer, was there, and he did imply that it's still up in the air. Movie's still in the cards. I don't think that would ever happen. But the implication I got was we were feeling things out to see if we should do another series. So I would not be surprised to see it go one more round. The Sons of Anarchy panel, I went to that one. That was wonderful to be
Did you melt when you saw Charlie?
He wasn't there.
What?
Yes. Charlie Hunnam is the only living son that was not at the panel because he was doing some shoot. But he sent a video for everybody in the audience to watch. What's that?
With Guillermo del Toro?
No, Del Toro was
something
there.
a lot better.
Yeah, he was doing like a Vogue shoot. Del Toro was there. He was there. I saw him like 3 times. He was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
He was at the Strain panel. He was at the Book of Life panel. I mean, the guy.
For me.
What's that? Yeah, I made out with him. Mm-hmm. Him and his scruffy beard.
The video was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, well, Charlie Hunnam did a video for why he couldn't be there, and it's basically all the other sons massaging his ass. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I put it on the Facebook page. Please go check it out because I'm serious. It's very funny.
My wife would have gladly killed them all to take their place.
Oh man, it was good. And the reason the panel was good is it's the very last one they're going to do for Comic-Con. And people are like, why is Sons of Anarchy at Comic-Con? Because it's a
awesome show.
Yeah, it's an awesome show, and it's popular arts now. They've been going there for a couple of years.
It's pop culture, right?
Psych went there. Psych was huge there. I go there the 1 year. Psych's not there. So sad. But it was very good because Kurt Sutter was he was moved. Kurt Sutter's a creator and executive producer, and the fans and everybody else were so pumped to tell him they appreciated the show and everything else, and he was almost crying about it being the last season. Said a lot of hearts are going to be broken this year. Not everybody is going to make it. Nobody's safe. Imagine that. Nobody's safe on Sons of Anarchy.
And nobody's safe on an FX show.
And they actually tell people when they come to ask questions, only in that panel did this happen. They actually said, please no sex questions. Because apparently people that come up there always ask to do threesomes or have orgies or whatever.
With people in the cast?
Yeah. And sure enough, 3 people in a row. Katie, can I have a threesome with you? Kurt, can I have a threesome with you and your wife? You guys want to have an orgy? I'm like, what the hell is going on? These people just want to do it.
Was Walter Goggins there? Because he's going to be in this season.
No, but they mentioned him a lot. Then Kim,
I can't wait to see that.
Kim Coates, who plays Tig,
Yeah.
he was talking about what they were talking about, the most disturbing moment on the show, and he's like, yeah,
well,
that was it. Yeah,
I imagine.
yeah. They're like, not when your daughter was killed. Nah, not that part. It's pretty funny.
I got to get caught up that last season.
So good. And in terms of actual news, the Evil Dead TV series was announced by Sam Raimi, starring Bruce Campbell. I want to tiptoe on it because I've been promised shit before, but that sounds like it could be awesome.
But what's it going to be about?
Shut up. It's going to be awesome. I don't care.
Okay, sorry. Gotcha.
There'll be no negativity on this. It's just going to be beautiful.
No negative. I'm just curious what the show will be about.
Bruce Campbell and a mirror. That's all I
Killing
need.
demons.
Yep.
All right.
In the mirror. He'd just be like chainsaw behind him while he's combing his hair.
Yep. Why don't they just like write him into Constantine?
He'd be a great
Oh,
Constantine.
Jesus. You just... That would be kind of awesome.
See, he would be a great Constantine. Oh, that would.
I didn't say make him Constantine.
Shut up. Now he's Constantine.
Constantine and Ash.
You realize now every time that show's on, when I'm watching it, all I'm going to be thinking is Bruce Campbell would do this better.
You're welcome.
He would have already chainsawed that fucker.
Yeah, all this chitter chatter would have been done. Would have been
Not
done.
on NBC, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's true. Not on NBC. Would have been a lot more talking. Saw 2 trailers. One was for me, the Hitman trailer. I'm a big fan of the game. I actually liked the original movie. I thought it was fun.
And I could not find this trailer anywhere.
It's not out.
Yeah.
But it's a new it's a new Hitman. It's played. I swear to God, I should have wrote his name down. I'm sorry, but he's the guy that's in Homeland. Brian. He plays the partner of Quinn. Is it Quinn?
Okay.
Is that his name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, that's who plays him in this movie. He's very good. He looks the part, and it seems very close to what the game was. I'm looking for that. Hitman's a character. Agent 47, he's a stealth killer. They had a movie with Timothy Olyphant a few years ago. Didn't do that well. Yeah, well, I liked it. So, what do you know? Hater McHaterson. And Kevin Smith premiered the trailer for Tusk.
Looks so good.
Now, here's what Tusk is. Please let me share this with you. Please watch the trailer on thehollywoodoutsiders.com. You see the best of Comic-Con. It's in one of those pages. Tusk is about a guy who turns another guy into a walrus. Yep. That's the story.
Boom. Ticket bought.
I'm still deciding if my ticket's bought, but it definitely has some human centipede conflictions about it. He's literally turning a guy into a walrus. And Kevin Smith, to explain this, Kevin Smith specifically said, look, I know a lot of you guys are going to leave here and you're going to be going, you know what? He's not actually literally going to turn a guy into a walrus. And he, quote unquote, I'm here to tell you, yes, I literally fucking turned a guy into a walrus.
Justin Long will be a walrus.
Justin Long will be a walrus.
Justin Long in the tooth.
And the part in the trailer, yeah, oh boy, wow. The part in the trailer where he says, I don't want to die in Canada, is probably worth it. All by itself. All by itself.
I love these kind of quirky little movies.
Now, you're pretty pumped for Tusk. Is it just because it's Kevin Smith's name's on it?
That's a lot of it. I've listened to a lot of his podcasts for years, and this was an idea that came up, and they just kind of batted around initially as though it was nothing, and then it's actually become a film. And I love the trailer. I thought Justin Long and Michael Parks both looked perfect for their different roles. And yeah, it's a lot of Kevin Smith, but it's just someone making a movie that no one else in their right minds would make. Mm-hmm. And it might just be something really special, or it could turn out to be a complete piece of dog shit. But I want to see it so I can find out for myself.
Yeah. Trust me, you're going to watch it and go, what the hell is this? It definitely will make you want to see it just to know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, that's pretty much
seeing
my
the trailer
take.
looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm on board.
Final thoughts, guys. Comic-Con is over. We got a couple more things to whip out. And
excuse me,
Brian, you had one thing you wanted to ask before we finished the Comic-Con. What was it?
Yeah, our nerds becoming the new jocks, and there's been a lot of talk and I say a lot. Let's just say there's been more than I've ever seen on kind of bullying, harassment, unwanted following, and even unwanted picture taking going on at this convention in particular. I mean, I don't know why you dress up with your boobs out and your ass out and then get ticked off when some dork is stalking you with his camera.
Let's be clear.
But
you're talking just the picture part. That's
the picture
okay.
part. Right. Now you're
we don't want to have to
following
suspend
them
you.
down.
Brian.
Right. They're trying to leave and get in a car, and you're tapping on her window. You're really starting to cross the line here. But I mean, again, it's not just that. But there's all sorts of unwanted attention from a lot of females out there at this convention. I'm sure it happens at others too. But I mean, is this what happens when you let the uber obsessed out of mama's basement, or what?
I will say from being there, there were a couple really bad things that happened. There were some. I think it's going to happen anytime you have a crowd of people like that. And unfortunately, because it's a very public event, it gets publicized. I didn't see very much of that. I thought everybody was fairly jovial, except for the hipsters. Nobody was being rude that I saw. There were a lot of ladies that were dressed up with things hanging out and stuff, and they seemed to be perfectly happy taking pictures. I didn't see anybody that seemed to feel uncomfortable, but I also wasn't following them around.
Well, I think the difference there is they're okay with taking pictures as long as you ask permission first.
And I get that. I think that's the right way.
I think last year there were guys that were trying to take sneak pictures up skirts and this kind of stuff, and that's kind of creepy.
And I'm sure that happens. I think that probably happens at bars too.
Yeah.
It happens at Mardi Gras. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think it's fair to say it's because it's Comic-Con or anything
Oh, me
like
either.
that. Yeah. I didn't see a big outpouring of that. There was a couple bad incidents, and it gave kind of like a bad mark to the convention, but I didn't see any of that.
Didn't somebody, like a deaf person, drive their car through like?
Yeah, they hit somebody, but I think they couldn't understand what they were being told or something.
Because it was like everyone was dressed like zombies or something, or
yeah. I don't know. they couldn't hear the instructions very well. Is the way I understand it. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Wasn't it last year though, where there were like a couple of stabbings and shit?
Yeah, but that's you got a couple 100,000 people. Somebody's getting robbed. Somebody's getting mugged. Somebody's
Well, no, what I'm
attacked.
saying is last year people were stabbed. This year I haven't heard anybody was hurt in that way.
Well, there was some poor girl that was accosted on the street, and she had her outfit ripped off. It was really, really uncool. But I do want to say that person promptly got their ass beat and left bloody on the street for the cops to find. So the crowd
wasn't by a woman dressed like Catwoman or something too.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, nerds are like any other group. You're going to have your good guys. You're going to have your bad guys.
Exactly. I don't think it's right to put them to. These guys seem just as normal. When they're dressing up, I will defend it, even though I don't understand it. It's not something I'm ever going to do, but I will defend it all day because it's part of their fun. They're not hurting anyone. I didn't see anyone hurt anyone. They seem to have a lot of fun with it. A lot of them probably act a little too in character. Some of them think they're Han Solo. Like there's one guy that was only speaking in Han Solo's lines. That's a little far, in my opinion.
That takes a lot of.
They think I'm convinced some of them think they are the character. It's beyond dressing up. I think they are the character, but most of them, 95% of what I saw, completely normal people that they're just having fun, and I see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It was a good time. I highly recommend if you go, if you can handle the crowds. It is like going to a theme park on opening day though, so be prepared. Or Mardi Gras if you go there at night, because man, people. See a drunk Ewok, and you will feel like it's worth it.
Man, if you'd have told me that before we went, I would have bought my ticket.
Just to see drunk Ewoks running around,
absolutely
bumping into things.
Icha! Boom!
I love the people that had their kids dressed up like props. I think that's fantastic. I saw one lady that was Princess Leia. Very nice, Princess Leia, by the
Gold
way.
bikini or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done. And she had her kid dressed like an Ewok.
Aww.
And I even asked her, I'm like, is that just, do you know someone very small? No, that's my daughter. Like, she's got to be hot. This isn't just like leaving her in the car. I don't know. I mean, that thing's like a sweat shop.
Slave Leia never saw an Ewok, so they need to fix that shit.
Yeah, no, there's a continuity error walking around.
Continuity problem, people.
It's
Now,
pretty...
if he had been dressed up as like Salacious Crumb, then I would have said
That would be hard to pull off.
A little harder, yes. But God damn it, there's nerd pride.
There are some well done and ridiculous costumes, and really bad ones. There's a lot of bad ones too.
Was it last year the one where they did the in Aliens with the big yellow, the loaders, and he had the baby in the front of the loader. That
was there this year.
Was it there
this year too?
Yeah,
I saw them.
So awesome.
Well, we got to wrap the show up, so let's do reviews real quick. Lucy and Hercules. Lucy, Scott, you saw Lucy.
I did. I'll go
Lucy
through it really quick. For those that aren't familiar, Lucy's is a film starring Scarlett Johansson. It stars her as a lead who is basically an everyday woman who's kidnapped and has a big bag of drugs embedded in her lower abdomen, and they force her to smuggle it overseas at the airport. The bag leaks, allowing her to access more of her brain than a typical human can, and gives her some unique abilities. She goes on a revenge rampage against those who violated her with the help of a professor played by Morgan Freeman, who specializes in brain activity. Now, as for the film itself, it wasn't really quite what I wanted it to be, with the movie kicking ass, mostly because Lucy basically turned into a robot after the first act.
Is she just walking around like the Terminator?
Basically.
Okay.
They did a scene where they tried to give her some heart, and it just didn't work for me. You could tell they're just trying too hard to show some humanity, and I didn't like it. So I don't understand why we can't have an action movie with a female lead who shows heart at the same time. I feel like it's always like you get a Terminator. I just got to be a badass and kick ass, and that's it. So the movie also went to a ridiculous level in terms of story as well as special effects, to the point of being very distracting for me. So it was kind of a disappointment. If $10 was the full price of admission, I would pay $4.50.
Damn.
I think you said 4 in your written review, by the way.
Why don't you take a dump on it, too?
Damn.
You said 4 in your written review, so
Did I?
I think he likes it better now. That's all I'm saying. Well, I saw Hercules, and that is the new Rock movie, not the guy from Twilight. I do want to, I got to tell you this before, because there are people that are going to, I want to see Hercules, because it's actually not a bad movie. It's kind of fun. Justin, I'm going to tell you this because I know you like mythology, right? Mm-hmm. You like this stuff. All the mythology you saw in that trailer happens in like the first 15 minutes. It's no mythology.
I mean, it looked like he was going through his 12 labors.
Yeah, he did. About 4 minutes in. It's ridiculous. I'm sitting there. It ends up being like just a generic gladiator movie. And I'm like, why are the monsters at the beginning? And it's told like a tale, like a legend. And they're basically, what it is Hercules is a legend, and he's kind of making a profit off the legend. He actually has a band of merry warriors that go with him, and they help him in behind the scenes. So it makes it look like he's doing all the work, but it's really like Rufus Sewell is one of them. Ian McShane is one of them. And then several other ones, and they're kind of all as a team, like the Gladiator A team, are doing the things in the background, and they're using the legend to get ahead. Whether he is or isn't the actual Hercules, you don't find out until the very end, which I'm sure if you saw the trailer for 30 seconds,
yells it.
Yeah, so you kind of know how that's going to work out.
Giving it away, spoiler.
So you would think that maybe they would bother to have all that mythological stuff throughout the movie, but I swear to you, it is just sword and sandal fights the whole way through. From 10 minutes in until right before the end, it's almost all mythological. So Jesus. Once you get past that, it's actually a fun action movie. It's a little generic, but The Rock is the best I've seen him in a leading role. Brett Ratner did surprisingly a very effective job. I actually had a lot of fun with this movie. It's one of those where I don't think the movie is necessarily good, but it's fun. So it's definitely, it's kind of like The Mummy, the first Mummy, where I just think that's a really fun movie, even if it's not the best movie ever. And I'll watch it whenever it comes on TV. It's that kind of movie. Rock seems to be having a lot of fun. The supporting characters are fun. John Hurt is really good in the movie. He does a couple twists. And Rufus Sewell, who we have bashed many, many times, is a good guy in the movie. And he's played a bad guy so many times. The entire movie, all I'm doing is waiting for him to turn. I'm just like, well, this. I'm like,
he's obviously a bad guy in disguise.
Like every time he would say, "Here, we got to do this," I'm like, "Oh, don't do it, Rock! Don't do it! You don't want it. It's a trap. It's always a trap." It wasn't a trap. He was a good guy. Good for him. And Ian McShane was actually pretty funny. So, if $10 is the full price of admission, I give it $6. I do think it's a fun movie, and people should see it. Now, do you need to see it in a theater? I think you can wait. There seems to be Guardians of the Galaxy seems like it's getting much better reviews, so spend your money there. We're going to just wrap up with 2 upcoming attractions, Justin, but they are 2 interesting ones.
We've got 2 films that are opening up on August 8th that we're going to be talking about. The first one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Every time I see a trailer, I was excited about this kind of when I first heard about the direction they were going with it, and every trailer has looked better and better and better. It's directed by Jonathan Liebesman, and it stars Megan Fox, Johnny Knoxville, and Will Arnett are going to be, your human-faced characters, as well as William Fichtner. But then you're going to have the voices of Jeremy Howard, Tony Shalhoub, Danny Woodburn.
Monk is in it?
Who?
Monk is in it? Tony Shalhoub? Monk is in this?
One of the voices.
Yeah, he's playing the voice of Splinter.
Now I'm in board. I'm
Rat. Darkness has settled over New York City as Shredder and his evil Foot Clan have an iron grip on everything from the police to the politicians. The future's grim until 4 unlikely outcast brothers rise from the sewers and discover their destiny.
Oh, Lord.
As Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Turtles must work with fearless reporter April O'Neil and her cameraman Vern Finwick to save the city and unravel Shredder's diabolical plan. I hope there's someone else on this podcast who's excited as I am. And I got to say, they released the theme song, so to speak, for this movie a couple of weeks ago. The first 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies way back in the day had their rap songs. Well, this one's got its own. I think it is a kick-ass theme song.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Scott, you go first.
Oh, man.
Chattering in the background.
I am so with you on this. I loved the Ninja Turtles, what I was able to sneak and watch when I was a kid, the cartoon. Oh,
because they were demons to your parents, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I was worshiping them.
Greed demon.
It was, I'm not a huge Michael Bay lover like you guys are. I like the Transformers movies enough. This just looks like so much fun to me, and I am not in the camp of people that are upset with the changes they've made and how the faces look a little bit different.
Freaking Ninja Turtles. Who cares what the
Well, and my argument with that is that the original cartoon and the original movies were vastly different from the original comic book, right? I mean, altogether. So to me, this is just the next progression of getting with the times, so to speak. So I've gotten to the point where I'm avoiding trailers just because I want to go into it and just have fun with it. It's not one I'm gonna. This is my Transformers. Like you guys.
Yeah, no, I got it, man.
You know what I mean? And I'm so stoked for it. I can't wait. And that song is ridiculous. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Even
just as a rap song.
Yep.
Of course, there are turtle references in it, but it's a badass song. Mm-hmm. What about you, Brian? You excited for this at all?
I haven't heard the song at all, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'm quite as pumped as you are. It's one of those I kind of wanted to be, and then I got a little bit more excited when I saw the first kind of teaser thing, and you see the turtles sliding down the snow mountain, and the bus or whatever it is that's barreling down on them right after that. It looks like it's packed full of action and a lot of fun. So I am definitely anticipating it, but I'm also avoiding the trailers because I just don't want to see too much about it.
Right.
And unfortunately, I'm doing this just about with every movie that I have any interest in seeing, just because, like you, Scott, I just want to be surprised with something. Mm-hmm. And there are just too many movies out there that give all the fun stuff away in the trailer. So
I want to see it. I'm actually surprised how fun it looks.
I'm surprised you want to see it, actually.
So am I. I realize I think it's going to be dumb. But maybe it's my nostalgia for Vanilla Ice, whatever. I just I just want to see it. It looks ridiculously stupid, but yet for some reason infectious. So sometimes you need those kind of movies, and that's what it looks like. And plus, it's the week before Expendables 3. I got to see something. And it's not going to be the second movie.
Speaking of, now I have to say, well, okay, titles Into the Storm, directed by Stephen Quayle. It stars, and I'm shocked I'm just now learning of this, Richard Armitage.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to bash at him because I was going to say,
who's
that's your boy.
Playing Thor in Oakenshield.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been one of my picks for a Batman replacement, but he's in it. I'm looking at the cast list, and I'm really not seeing anybody else that I vaguely recognize. But it's about storm trackers, thrill seekers, and everyday townspeople document an unprecedented onslaught of tornadoes touching down in the town of Silverton. To me, this looks like Sci-Fi Channel kind of fare. I've only seen one trailer for it, and it was just fucking awful. If this movie had come out back in the day when they were doing all of these kinds of weird weather phenomena movies, maybe it would have made more sense. But now it just seems like they're just reaching for an excuse to crank up the CGI machines and get them making something new. Aaron, what do you think?
The whole trailer reminds me of, if you've ever been to Universal Studios, the Twister ride. Not the Twister movie, the Twister ride. Because it feels like there's some guy behind the camera just cranking something, making it, oh, look, biggest tornado you've ever seen. Ooh, it just doesn't work for me. I'll probably end up seeing it. I'm not going to lie, because I have a thing for tornado movies. I even watched that really shitty Bruce Campbell one that was on like forever ago. But I'm not psyched for it at all. This is how much I know this movie's going to bomb, is they had, at Comic-Con, they actually had the car that's featured in the movie or whatever. And they said, come up, take pictures with it. You'll get a free whatever. They were giving away something free, and nobody wanted their picture taken with it. And this place, they want pictures with wallpaper. Nobody cared about this. So
I kind of want to see it. I think it's just one of those. It's just going to be one of those movies where the story is probably very weak. The acting is minimal, and it's all about the visual aspect of it, and that's kind of what. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I go to the movies. So,
oh, thank you, Brian. I thought I was going to be the only one that wanted to see this movie.
So
I said I will see it. I just said I'm not psyched.
No, I was psyched for it. I love disaster movies. I've said that time and time again. My wife's favorite movie of all time to this day is Twister. So this is one I can't wait to go see with her because she loves. I just
another
love this.
cow.
The last time because we watched Twister together when we were real young. When Day After Tomorrow came out in the theater, it was the first time I took her to an IMAX.
Are we gonna get your dating history now?
No.
What happened your wedding night? Was that a Twister too?
A lot of praying.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that was a way to kill it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stomping on Scott's nuts once again. Way to go.
Well,
now, I got to say, this looks like someone at the Sci-Fi Channel asked the guy who made Sharknado, listen, we want to redo Twister. Why don't you get on that?
Oh, if a shark went flying by, that would be fantastic.
No. It doesn't look that
It
bad.
looks better than that. It does look better.
The fire and the tornadoes look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how scientifically accurate that is, but it looked cool.
I don't think it'll be a hit, but I will see it.
Maybe. When it hits HBO and I can watch it off of Brian's dime. All right, guys. Of these two films, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Into the Storm, which one are you most likely to head up to the theater and check out? Brian?
I'm going with Into the Storm.
All right, you fail. Aaron?
I'm going with Ninja Turtles, but I will see both.
Damn right. And Scotty?
Exactly the same. Ninja Turtles first, and maybe Into the Storm on Sunday.
There you go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am definitely seeing that fucker, so we will have reviews for that.
Do they still say Turtle Power? Turtles in a half shell?
I don't know. I haven't
In
seen it
the
yet.
rap song, they do say Turtle Power, but it's a badass song, I'm telling you.
All right.
Did you listen to it?
I've listened to it. It's cool.
He's not down like us, Scott.
Yes, I'm not your man. I'm not the man on the streets like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, when I think badass and streetwise, I think Scott Clark.
Yeah.
And then I laugh because he's getting his ass beat on the street. All right, let's do Facebook. People that
All
what was their favorite part of Comic-Con?
Let's see. Steve Peterson says, Lock and Key, without a doubt. I just wish they were doing a TV series on HBO or Showtime instead of a film trilogy. I agree with that. But at least it's a trilogy, and they aren't trying to cram all of it in one movie like they do with his father's books. Hallelujah on that. He also says, and the leaked video of Batfleck. The armor looks awesome. Lock and Key still wins favorite, though.
Amy Hutchinson says, probably the new Hobbit trailer. Partially because I haven't been paying attention to much San Diego Comic-Con news this year, and partially because it just looks awesome, and it was super fun hearing Billy Boyd sing the song from Return of the King.
David McGrath says, Mad Max, Fury Road, it's been too long, and that trailer was a thing of glory. Fun fact, the character Immortan Joe in Fury Road is played by Hugh Keys Byrne, who played the main villain Toe Cutter in the original Mad Max.
Stephen White and Jason Taylor both say the Mad Max trailer looks awesome.
Excellent. And we got a couple tweets. Justin, you want to knock those out?
Sure. Junebug Johnston says, here's a memory when Justin's upcoming attractions was Justin's Coming attraction.
You remember that?
I do.
Oh,
that lasted about 3 weeks.
Yep. I was like, that seems inappropriate.
She says, thanks for 3 years. And the D.H. Cheney says, happy 3 years, gentlemen. I look forward to many more great episodes. Well, then, I'm sorry you were going to be disappointed.
Aw.
I think our greatness is behind
Don't hold
us.
your breath.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that.
Wow.
Especially if the county Brian lives in goes dry.
Yeah, we haven't had drunk Brian in a
Amen.
while. One of these days, we're going to have drunk hose. We're just going to have an all-drinking podcast. Just for
All
the
you'll
hell
hear
of
from my end is,
it. Jesus. And we do have one email from Justin McCamey. I'm going to skip right over that weed reference. He says, Aaron had to send you the message. You are really a great podcaster. He's speaking about all of us. Thank you for your hard work and such a great show. I'm not just trying to blow smoke, but the production value, the personalities, see, obviously all of us, and the content is really professional and enjoyable to listen to. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and by far, you guys are the best around. Nobody's ever going to... Sorry. Funny thing, I was actually in the process of putting together a movie podcast of my own until I realized that you did what I wanted to do. Suck and mispronounce names? Then you are welcome, because that's what I do. Maybe in the future, in any case, Aaron, thanks again for such a great show. We have a lot in common, the love of movies and sarcastic banter. I appreciate that, man. It's very cool. I hope you have a great time at Comic-Con. I'm in Florida, so I don't get much chance to hit the Hollywood scene. Ever down in Tampa, you're always welcome. We'd love to meet you in person. We're all four just going to come to your house, if that's cool. You guys ready for a road trip? I'm ready.
I'll sleep on the couch. I don't care.
Hey, shit. It's like 3 hours down the road, so I'll meet you there.
Yep.
I got dibs on the wife's bed.
Ooh. Wow. He goes right for it.
Damn.
Justin doesn't waste time. He's just like, if I'm coming over, I'm coming over. Justin's coming.
All over.
Attractions. Please send out a shout for Longmire on the show. It's been a great season and need more people watching so it won't get canceled. I absolutely agree, man. I love Longmire. I wish more people would watch it. I love Westerns. Hell on Wheels is pretty good too. By the way, I enjoyed the 24 podcast. My pick for great team for a movie was Sneakers. Great all-star cast, humor, mystery, and caper at the beginning, which was the movie that was referenced last week when they were talking Mother and everything else. It was Sneakers, and I'm stupid because I did not get it. Still buying popcorn, Justin McCamey. Thanks, man. That's very cool. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Thanks, man.
Make sure you stay through the credits for outtakes. TheHollywoodOutsider.com is the website. Facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider. You can leave us a message or text us at 818-814-6246, or our email is feedback@TheHollywoodOutsider.com. You can listen and subscribe for free on iTunes or on Stitcher Radio. Two quick things before we depart. Scott started out a Facebook group for gaming called The Gaming Outsider. I think he's already talked about gaming quite a bit this episode, but definitely go check it out if you're into video games. He's starting that as his offshoot, and you're pretty excited, yeah?
I am very excited. It will hopefully turn into a podcast, but please come join the conversation if you like gaming at all.
Yep. If you like it at all, which means you gotta like it more than me because, I'm Aaron.
Hey, you've come over there.
And and before we sign off, we talk about Justin's book quite a bit. I want to mention that my little brother has published his first book, and I'm very, very proud of him. He's a great writer. He's a good guy, and I wish him all the best.
It's available on Amazon. It's Antipathy. It's a very interesting book. I was surprised. You did a very good job. I couldn't even give him grief about it.
He's a very good writer, but I was really surprised it was good.
It was just because I knew what it was. It was his first screenplay, and he turned it into a book. So I was wondering how that would translate, and he did a very good job. You can find a link on the show notes as well as the website. So, Brad Peterson, good luck with your book, man. And from that is it for the Hollywood Outsider, guys. Any parting thoughts, Justin, Brian?
Yeah. Stillwater's in Amazon, Kobo, Barnes and Noble.
There's always a link.
The Kindle? Is it on the Kindle?
Look at
It's
that.
on the Kindle.
Poor Justin couldn't even let somebody have the attention just for a week.
I couldn't.
Poor Justin. Brian, what about you? You got
jump in.
any books you want to throw in there real quick?
Nah, I'm good.
Scotty?
I will be at Comic-Con next year, for sure. I'm not going to miss out on it.
Oh, sweet. And Justin will be at Houston Con in 2 weeks?
Yes, in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'll be at Houston Con. It's the 8th through the 10th of August.
All right.
I'll have all my books, so please come buy bunches of them.
And come back on Monday-ish, and you will hear the Guardians of the Galaxy spoiler cast. We are doing one. So, guys, that is it from the Hollywood Outsider. Remember, the next time you go to a theater, make sure you share this episode with your friends on Twitter and Facebook and wherever else you share, because we appreciate it. Review us on iTunes, and also buy popcorn.
The Leave Britney Alone guy. Remember that?
Leave Britney.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing gay porn now. Did you know that? I didn't find that out by searching for it.
Right. Hey, did you reset everything and flip it and smack
Did
it?
I tell you I was doing that shit?
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean you were doing it.
Smack it up and flip it and rub it down.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm thoroughly confused.
Well, we've been trying to tell you that for a while.
The bride has requested me to play during the cocktail hour a song called My Night with the Prostitute from Marseille.
Marseille.
Marseille?
Marseille. It's in France. You geographic illiterate fuck.
When Brian's correcting your French, you know you fucked up.
Oui, mon fucking sewer.
That's why it looks different to me. I thought I didn't really...
You just not looking
Damn,
at it?
Scott, how long did it take you to figure that out?
I was trying to adjust my view.
Roughly
I thought
from
it
whenever I sent it to just now.
Quick on the uptake there.
Don't get them all sad. It's too early.
I don't know what that
CSI Rockford.
Poor Scott.